Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tim Holland, and I am your host today on today's training, which is entitled Highest Converting Funnels. Just what the heck is a funnel anyway? It's not the one that you found in your mother's kitchen drawer, and it's not the one you use to refill the liquor bottles before your parents got home, as my partner Andy always says. But a marketing sales funnel is a visual representation of the customer journey from initial awareness to final purchase. It's called a funnel because it starts broad at the top, lots of potential leads, and narrows down as prospects move through the stages, filtering out those who don't convert. And that's my favorite phrase in that definition, filtering out those who don't convert. Because honestly, I don't want to talk to people that don't want to talk to me anyway. We are called agents of freedom and we believe in magnetic marketing. In other words, I want my prospects to come to me, and we can make that happen through funnels by adding constant value the entire time a prospect is in our sales funnel. So I'm going to share my screen and we are going to get started. All right, here we go. We're going to talk about three funnels today: new construction, waterfront properties, and if you're looking for listings, the cash offer is king. Again, agents of freedom, we believe in magnetic marketing. We don't believe in cold calling. We don't believe in door knocking. We don't believe in open houses. In other words, I don't like the chase game. Again, I want to be magnetic where our prospects are coming to us. And before we get started, I want to ask you, please stick around to the end because we have a gift for you at the end if you stay the entire time, and that gift is Genny. Genny is our custom chat GPT for realtors. It's a real estate GPT that does AI lead gen. It writes ads. It schedules follow-ups. I mean, it's actually incredible. We've spent a lot of time building this, and you can ask it anything real estate, and it'll get to know you and help you a great deal. I'm also a founding member of an organization called the Freedom Team. In 2024, in what most of us would call a bad market, or certainly not the market we saw in 2020, 21, 22, about midway through 22, I guess, and it started to fall a little bit. But we did almost 12,500 transactions, 4.3 billion with the B in volume, and 423 agents decided to partner with us just last year alone. My partners there are left to right: Jeff, Eric, Kathy, Sean, and myself. We are 3,000 agents strong in all 50 states and 8 countries. Now, our story is this. Back to Agents of Freedom, myself, Andy, and Aileen, in that order on that picture there. We created a very successful marketing system using just one of the tools we're going to talk briefly about today. And that tool brought us 25 million in sales in 22 months, and we now have over 75 million in our sales pipeline. And the best part is all those clients called us. We didn't make a single cold call. We didn't chase a single prospect. We didn't call a single Zillow, Realtor.com, Truly Lead, all that nonsense that used to work that's not working so well anymore, and it's gotten more and more expensive over the years. Trust me, I know. I used to spend $14,000 a month on Zillow. When it stopped working, I moved it all to Realtor.com, and it was even worse. So yeah, those solutions are for some people, but I believe in a low-cost ad spend with very, very high return, and that's what we're going to talk about today, in a system, in a product, in a solution that will turn prospects into clients. So let's get started. Quick introductions. My good friend and dear partner, Andy. Andy came to Aileen and I in 2022 and said, I'm quitting. I'm tired of the chase. I'm chasing all these leads, and they've already talked to 3 agents, and I called them in the first 5 minutes. It's crazy. Now, Andy came from the car business years and years and years ago, so he was used to his clients coming to the car lot to him. So it's a little culture shock, I guess, although he tried it for many years and was very successful as a realtor. Just got tired of the chase, and he says there's got to be a better way. And I got together with Aileen and Andy. I said, there is. Let's create a YouTube channel. We're not here to talk about YouTube today, but YouTube is one of Andy's, actually probably is his top specialty. He's also a phenomenal funnel guy, but proud to introduce you to him. And next, Aileen, again, dear friend, my business partner, Aileen Fountain, over 20 years in the real estate business. I think she actually won her 6th Icon Award here recently. She's had a thriving business for years, and most of her business came from her sphere. So she wanted to do something to be a little bit more relevant, so she started investing in systems and processes and funnels and YouTube, and a lot of that business now is coming to her organically. And myself, Tim Hollenden, again, is my name. I'm going to go a little longer here because there's a point I would like to make that I think is important that we all hear. And just, I guess, getting started, I've been around real estate since I was walking job sites as a toddler with my dad, who was an architect. I also owned a very successful Remax franchise in Louisville, Kentucky. It still exists today, although I did sell it back in 2015. And I made, and I don't say this to brag, I just want to legitimize your speaker for you today. I made over $1 million a year, many, many years in real estate. I do still sell real estate, although I don't have to sell as much as I used to, but I do still have a sales team in Louisville, Kentucky, and in Orange Beach, Alabama. Today, I spend most of my time training my 23 years of knowledge, coaching agents, helping them to become higher producers. I mean, we can pretty much accomplish any goal you might want to achieve by just doing the math. And you're going to hear me talk about the math a lot today. But pause. In 2013, life kicked me in the butt. I was 49 years old and I had a quadruple bypass heart surgery. I truly thought the good Lord was calling me home because there was no physical reason I should have been in that situation in the hospital, fighting for my life with 4 arteries, all of them 80% clogged. My cardiologist said, you know, you were in the shape of your life. You had no high cholesterol, no high blood pressure, no heart disease in my family. I was never a smoker. I really shouldn't have been there. I thought I was going to die. Thank the Lord I didn't, but my cardiologist said, you must just be stressed. And I got to thinking about it, said, well, I certainly don't feel stressed, but I guess all of us work to our own certain level of stress and don't even realize it maybe in some cases. But the point I want to make is this. I was out of the real estate business for 7 weeks, but my business continued to thrive the entire time. In fact, it grew during those 7 weeks. And it's because of what I'm going to show you today. Funnels, systems, and processes. And of course, I had people to rely on. I had a team, so I had the team to pick up some of the pieces. But our processes and systems kept the well-oiled machine just continuing to run and run and run. And I know a lot of agents don't have that. A lot of agents, and Tom Ferry uses the analogy. Tom's one of the renowned real estate coaches, if you haven't heard that name. Tom says, I'm poor, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm rich, I'm poor. And most of us are on that cycle if we're honest with ourselves. So my goal for today is several, but I want to help you gain an awareness of some of your potential blind spots, and I want to help you leverage some frameworks for lead gen, lead conversion, and an overall strategy that's going to impact your business immediately. Grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, get out your cell phone, take pictures of screens, because I promise you value today. And hang around to the end, and I'm going to give you Genny when we're done. The other goal for today is I hope you're going to help yourself identify 1 or 2 things that you can immediately implement. Now, I'm going to pause for a second and move over and just briefly talk about state of the industry, because I want this point to be very, very clear. We all agree that agent commissions have fallen in the last few years, right? There you are, September 23 to October 24. That's just about a year and a month or roughly. Look at that downward slide. And I want you to become awareness of fake news, because this is the reality. Now, these slides came from Mike Del Prete. He's one of the, I call him the economist of the real estate industry. Mike calls people out when they do this. So this slide is the one that was published. This is the reality if you just change the y-axis there. You see, we only went from 2.65, 2.66, whatever that number is on the far left, down to 2.59. About 0.06, 6/100ths of 1%. That's hardly the sky's falling, is it? So, moving on. Here's what I want you to find, what I want you to take home, part of what I want you to take home today, the commission pool. You know, you saw the chart, whichever one you want to look at, the long slope or the one that was more level, if you will. You know, prior to our few years of insanity that started around COVID, 2020, 2021, half of 2022, 2023, still a little bit. I mean, all those years were better than 2019. And then you come to 2024 and everybody says the sky is falling. But in reality, we did $86 billion in commissions in 2024 versus $73 billion in commissions prior to COVID, prior to those 4 years that were anomalies. This is not a bad market, but what's happened is agents that don't have systems and processes in place are losing market share to those of us that do. You got to be efficient. You got to spend a little bit of money to make a lot of money, and you got to have systems and processes surrounding that so you can get your fair share of the $86 billion. So moving right along, I want you to think about this. If you built your perfect real estate business and it's 3 years from today, What things would have to be true for you to look back and say, that's exactly what I wanted my business to look like, what I wanted my life to look like? Because it's really about life, not just business. Business is just part of life. At least I hope you think that way. How much money would you be making? How many listings would you have? Would you still be out showing property, or would you have a showing assistant? Would you hire an ISA? Maybe some buyer's agents? Maybe build a team? Would you have a coach or a mentor? Or perhaps you'll become a coach or a mentor. Would you be able to travel or take time off of your business and enjoy the life that you thought you were going to have when you got into real estate? That's why we all did it, right? Make a lot of money and have freedom, have free time, be able to create my own schedule, set my own hours. Yeah, that's all true to a point, unless you really want to make a lot of money. And then when you start making a lot of money, it's important that you put these systems in place that I'm going to show you today so you can start to scale. I'm going to help you buy your time back and spend less time and start making more money through systems and processes with the utilization of sales funnels. But here's the most important question. What would your family and friends think 3 years from now about your life because of the business you built? What would your spouse, your significant other, your partner, your children say about that life? So, how do you build a business that will allow you to have the lifestyle that you want? We believe in financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom at the Agents of Freedom. That's why we call our company that name, Agents of Freedom. We want to help you achieve the 3-part balance. And the answer to that question on the top is there on the bottom. You put your business to work for you instead of you working for your business. So here's the secret formula. You're going to want to take a picture of this when I get all the things up on the screen. First, you've got to identify your target market. What is your ideal client? Are you after for sale by owners, expireds, luxury, veterans? There's all kinds of verticals in the real estate business. So who is your target client? Maybe you just want everybody, and that's okay too when you get started, but you'll want to niche down over time, I think. So identify your target market. What fish, to use the analogy here I'm going to go forward with, what fish do you want to catch? And then you got to figure out, where am I going to find those fish? Are they in the pond, the stream, the lake, the ocean, the Gulf? Where do we find the people we're looking for that we want to become our clients? And the most important thing is the offer. You have got to establish an irresistible offer to put in front of them in a small ad. And the offer is the bait. What are we going to use to attract them to our line? What's the offer? What are you going to offer your clients? And the funnels do that. The funnel puts an ad out that gives value. They click on it. They come into our sales funnel, and we continue to provide value as it goes from big down to small, as I mentioned on the opening slide. And then finally, how are we going to convert them into a client? And I just partially answered that, and that's to just keep giving value. See, we were taught the old-fashioned way, get out the phone book and start calling people, see if they know anybody looking to buy or sell now or in the near future, right? You've heard that script. It doesn't work like that anymore if you want to be efficient and be able to scale your business. See, right, if you do that, if you call 100 people in a day, you might talk to 10, and you might have 2 or 3 prospects out of that, and you might close 1. But how long did it take you to call 100 people versus putting 100 people in your funnel, maybe overnight or maybe in an entire week, but you didn't have to spend time doing it? So again, spending a little bit of money for a lot of return is where we're going. And then I'm going to fill out the bottom of the screen here, and then you take a picture of it because I think you're going to want this one. The target market is our high commercial intent, people that want to do business right now, sellers that got to sell, buyers that have to buy. That's our target market. We're going to find them through search or social media. And that's I can go into 2 different types of marketing. I'm not even going to do that at this point in time, but the offer has to be for sellers, time, ease, how much money am I going to make? And for buyers, it's all about selection and affordability, right? You know the game. And then lastly, when they're in the funnel, it's about follow-up. It's about retargeting. I want you to pay attention to things like the ad copy I'm about to show you, the keywords in that ad copy that creates FOMO, fear of missing out. I want you to look at those things, and I want you to look at while a prospect is in our funnel, we're texting, emailing, voicemail dropping, putting messages in their IM, and every message has a question at the end, and that keeps them engaged because the people that are serious are going to answer your question. And I'm going to show you some staggering numbers about that. So hopefully you had time for that screenshot. We're moving on. Audiences. You have cold audiences. These are strangers in your market. You don't know them. They don't know you. You have an audience that you're retargeting. What the heck is retargeting? Let's pause on that. Retargeting is when you're searching for a Nintendo for your child. And I'm showing my age because they're not probably that popular anymore. But you search for a Nintendo on Amazon. And Alexa's probably listening to me now, going to start showing me ads. But that's retargeting. When you shop for a Nintendo on Amazon and there's a pixel that's placed and it follows you around the internet and you start seeing Nintendo ads everywhere you go, that's retargeting. That's what a funnel system can do. And a retargeting ad is pennies on the dollar compared to the original primary ad that you place on Facebook or Instagram or wherever you're placing ads. So that's what retargeting is. Then the next audience are leads. These are people that are in our funnel and they've given us permission to follow up with them. Lastly, hot audiences. These are people advancing towards buying or selling a home. So those are our audiences. Now, what do those ads look like? This first ad, I'm going to go left to right. Oceanfront ad for condos in this case. Doesn't have to be condos, but that's a condo ad. By the way, these are all live ads that our partners are running in various parts of the country. The second one there is a new construction funnel. I'm going to talk about well, 3 or 4 of these in detail. And then the seller funnel, thinking about selling your home, get an instant cash offer. That's very different than find out what your home's worth. Hopefully you can see the distinguishing factor there. And then a bonus thing I just wanted to throw in there for you is Spanish funnels. If you're bilingual or have a bilingual person on your team, put that ad in English and in whatever their language of choice is. Because there's very few people running ads outside of English. So when you do that, it's one, cheaper, and it's really, really powerful because that really hones in on a very specific market. So those are the 4 ads we're going to talk about. Let's dive into Waterfront. I told you I was going to talk a lot about math. Our Waterfront funnel, this is an oceanfront condo funnel. Let's talk about what those 4 columns are. Results, it's 383 leads. Clicked on an ad and jumped in this realtor's funnel. The reach is how many people saw the ad, but most of them didn't click on it. So 22,800 people. And the frequency is how many times those 22,800 people saw the ad, 2.21 times. Now the cost per result is about $3 rounded. Okay, so what's this mean? First of all, internet leads are internet leads are internet leads. I'm not talking about anything that's any better than anything you've done from an internet lead standpoint. The differentiation on what we're looking at today is what we do with the lead when they're in our funnel. Internet leads, they say, and this particular funnel that our partner is using is not any different. Internet leads converted about 1%. When I get 100 leads in my funnel, I'm going to close 1 deal. Simple as that. So the key is how far down can I drive my cost per lead? In this case, it was $3, and this is a real number. $3 means my customer acquisition cost was $300. Now, let me say it another way. I'll spend $300 all day long to acquire a customer that I'm going to make $12,000 on. What's your average commission? You know, a $400,000 at 3% is $12,000. A $600,000 at 3% is $18,000. Maybe you're in a market that's $200,000. I doubt it because I don't think many of those are around anymore. But let's say it's $200,000 times 3% is $6,000. That's worst case. Would you spend $300 for a client knowing there's a $6,000 commission behind it? I think you would. I know I would. In fact, I would start spending more and more and more and more once I understood the math. And that's what we're going to do today. So that's the math on this particular funnel. And now let's talk about the offer and the audiences. The offer in this case was, and here's where I want you to pay attention to specific words in ad copy. You'll see the ones they are. Access to all the waterfront condo deals in Sarasota, Florida, or wherever this particular funnel would run in your market, if waterfront makes sense to you. Now, it doesn't have to be an ocean or a gulf. It could be a river or a lake, or there's lots of lakes that people go to every weekend during the summer. The waterfront funnel works there as well. And this goes out to cold traffic through a lead generation approach. And we tell Facebook, put this ad in front of people who match these criteria. Their interests are Realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, LandWatch, whatever. Home equity lines of credit, houses.com, real estate broker, etc. So we can control who sees this ad with that detailed targeting. Now the secondary offer, so we put a primary, and all a primary offer is, it's the first offer we put out there in front of these folks. The secondary offer come to them if they've clicked on our ad but didn't become a lead, or they clicked on our ad and are in our funnel, then we start putting secondary ads in front of them through retargeting. So the retargeting ad might be, and notice how we're offering value. First it was all the condo deals on the primary ad. Now the second ad comes to them, and this might be dropped in their IM, this might be emailed to them, it might be on social media, etc. It might be any of the other ways we've already talked about. It could be a text message. But the secondary offer is, how would you like my top 10 list of all the new best deals for oceanfront condos that recently became available? There's a little FOMO right there. You see top 10, new, best deals, recently. Those are keywords that our ad copywriters found to be most successful. So let's look at the ad itself. This is another picture taker. The ad. These oceanfront condos in Palm Beach have to sell ASAP. Check out the incentives that are available to make these super affordable. Tap the Learn More button to get free instant access on Facebook. That's telling them we're not taking them off the Facebook platform. They're staying right here where we are on Facebook. They click the Learn More button to access all the oceanfront deals, and it goes to the second screen where we ask them a few simple questions about their buying process. And then we gather their information, and Facebook gives it all to us because as an advertiser, we get their name, their email, their phone number. And we thank them, tell them they're all set. And when they click on the last button, it's View Condos. And we give them what we promised. We promised them oceanfront condos in Palm Beach have to sell ASAP. These are the ones. So that's how the funnel works. And that's how you keep them engaged. And then, key point, I told you, we squeeze them, we give value, and a lot of them are talking to us. 46% of the people in our funnel are communicating with us. Now, in fairness, and to be completely transparent, a few of those are saying, screw you, stop, D&D, whatever. But I want those too, because I want to know where to spend my time. If I was spending my time on 100 leads and 54 of them didn't want to talk to me, look at the time I wasted. This is how I'm going to help you buy your time back. The funnel's going to squeeze these people and show you the 46 out of the 100 that you should be spending time on. And the people are going to show you that too, because they're going to be engaged with your stuff. Okay? So now let's look at follow-up campaigns in specifics. As you can see there, oceanfront condos in the Palm Beach area. As promised, here's the direct link to all the properties. There's the question. This is how you keep hooking them. Are you interested in homes in any other areas? Right? That's the question I said at the end of every message we send. And they said, yeah, looking for 2-bedroom on Singer Island. Tight budget though, $400,000. How's that for somebody responding to you? Then we make them a secondary offer. By the way, I just finished making my top 10 list of all the best deals for oceanfront condos that recently became available. They could help you save money on an oceanfront condo. Would you like me to send it to you? There's that other question. So I hope this is making sense. So that kind of concludes waterfront funnel. Now let's talk about cash offer. Who wants more sellers, more listings? I know I do. The math on that, these cost a little bit more. Seller leads in this particular campaign are $13 a lead. 71 leads, 19,000 was the reach. A little over 2.1 times again is the frequency. but these converted at 2% for this realtor. So his customer acquisition cost was $650. So I'll ask you again, would you spend $650 for a new listing? And I think you would, because if I sent you a $600,000 referral and you were going to make $18,000, you'd probably give me $4,500, 25% of that, right? So again, this is about spending a little bit of money for a large return. We're teaching people how to spend pennies and nickels and dimes and get dollars, okay? $13 a lead in this case, 71 leads, 2% convert. That means that 2 out of 100 are going to do business with me. And you're not going to know this day one. And I'm not going to say, hey, go out and spend a whole bunch of money on Facebook and figure it out. That's why I'm teaching you the way to do it today. And I'm going to show you the processes and the systems as well. But this is about figuring out the math and then doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down. That is how you scale your business, ladies and gentlemen. No more, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm rich, I'm poor. Turn this thing on, let it run all the time. If you get really busy, too busy to handle all the leads, turn that ad spend down a little bit. You can control all that in your Meta backend ad manager in your Facebook account. And here's what this ad looks like. Thinking about selling your home? Get an instant cash offer, blah, blah, blah. They click learn more. We ask them questions about when are you interested in moving? Where are you going? Have you found something yet? Give me a little bit of information about your home. We collect their contact information on that third screen there. And then they click here to start the offer process. Now, how do we do this? This funnel and this solution partners with 5 people that write offers on homes. These are investors. So they're not going to be 100%, full retail, if you will. The next part of the process is asking specific information about the home. That's everything there. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on that because you get it. Beds, baths, square footage, style, etc. The last screen, though, is book a time on my calendar for me to present the offers to you. Because we have a fiduciary responsibility to present all offers, right? So I have to come see you. I have to present the offers. Now, what this really is what I call a door getter inner. That's right. It gets me in the doors. It gets me to the kitchen table to sit down with them and to hear the 5 offers. And of course, I do that after I preview the home because I want to know what the condition is like as I go there and I'm building rapport and so forth. So we look at all the offers and say, by the way, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I took the liberty to create a market analysis for your home to show you, what I think we could get if we put your house on the market and sold it in more of a retail setting. Because obviously these offers I'm going to show you are not going to be full retail because they're investors. They're people that do fix and flip or buy and hold, etc. You get the point. But I tell you, 1 in 10 people are accepting the cash offers today. That's what we're seeing across the country. 1 in 10 need to sell for whatever reason. It might be financial stress. It might be to immediately, quickly get close to a family member that's having medical issues. It might be a death in the family and they're tired of carrying cost on the house and they thought they could sell it as a FSBO, but were never successful and they just want a quick offer to stop the bleeding. That happens. So 1 in 10 will take the offer. That's instant contract for you, instant commission. I'm seeing 2 or 3 will go ahead and list the house because they did have an interest in selling. That's the beauty of funnels. They clicked on an ad and they wanted what they clicked on or they wouldn't have clicked on it. Yeah, there's some tire kickers. Those are the 54% that we don't want to talk to, that don't ever respond to us. But you see how the funnel goes from 100 to 46 people, and now I'm focused on the people that really have a need now or in the near future. That's how this is working, and then it's just math. The follow-up campaigns on this one is 49%. 49 out of 100 sellers are talking to us. And by the way, I said 1 will take the offer, 2 or 3 usually list. The other 7, they're in our funnel. Those are great prospects for future listings. And this is about building a database, ladies and gentlemen. Every single month, your database gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And guess what? The people that didn't click on an ad this month aren't your only clients. About 15% of them that come in the ad initially are future clients in the next, 30, 60, 90, up to about 18 months. So it's all about building a database while you've got people in the funnel and you're just continuing to pour value on them. How can they not choose me as their realtor after I've given them so much value? And all the other realtors just called them up periodically, say, "You ready yet? You ready yet? Anything I can do for you? You ready? You know anybody's thinking to buy or sell?" It's not like that anymore. It's value-based selling. Now let's talk about new construction. And this is one of my favorites. I love the seller funnel because I'm a seller. I'm a listing specialist, a seller's agent primarily. But new construction is killing it right now because interest rates are still high. Yeah, they're talking about maybe lowering them. Haven't seen it yet, have you? But new construction's hot because most of the tract builders have mortgage companies or are partnered with a mortgage company, and they're building cost in the house to buy that rate down. I sold 3 houses last year, 2024, early spring, or late spring, early summer, 4.99% 30-year fixed, and a $10,000 realtor bonus for Tim, and a $10,000 buyer bonus for my buyers. Incredible. That's happening. So take this new construction funnel and talk about that. Here's the math with our partner that's running this one. 177 leads. I'm not going to give you all the detail. $4 lead cost. It converted at 1.5%. Customer acquisition cost for this lady was $200. So I ask you again, if you're in a $600,000 market making an $18,000 commission and you're converting at 1.5%, would you spend $200 for that $18,000? I think you would, or at least you should. Maybe you wouldn't. I think you should. And not everybody can afford to start spending a little bit of money every day on Facebook leads. I get that. We got a whole another training on free lead gen, if you will. Focus on longer term organic inbound leads that don't cost anything. We've got trainings on that too. So if you're interested on that, hit me up and we'll put you in front of that training. But that's the math on this new construction offer. So here's the primary and the secondary offers. Access to all the new construction properties in Frisco, Texas. That goes out to the code traffic. We're telling Facebook we want to generate leads from it. The secondary offer is, how would you like access to a one-page document with all the builder incentives? Now you got to do a little footwork here. You got to go out to all the new construction properties and talk to the builders. That's not going to kill you anyways. You need to be building relationships with those builders anyway. Heck, some of them might even hire you to represent their listings in their subdivision because builders have more inventory right now. That's part of the reason why they're doing incentives. And we need to put those incentives in front of buyers. This is what that looks like. We place a lead ad. They fill out a lead form. They come to our IDX site to get all the new construction homes that we wanted them to see. They go in our pipeline, and you can see the stages in the pipeline. They're a new lead, then they go to contacted, then working hot, appointment set, signing a buyer brokerage agreement, showing them houses under contract. While they're in the funnel, we can call them if we want to, but the system does most of the work through texting, emailing, voicemail dropping, just constantly asking questions and making offers, secondary offers, retargeting them. Here's an actual ad. This one goes through instant messenger. This is a messenger ad. We send them a message. They go back in the pipeline. Same process. All this is built out. And here's my buddy, Woods Davis.
If you're thinking about buying a new construction property in Frisco right now, this piece of paper can help you save up to $20,000. I'm Woods Davis.
You see the FOMO there? This piece of paper could save you up to $20,000. If I'm a buyer and I want to build a home or I want to buy new construction, I'm clicking on that ad. That's new construction. Let me tell you a quick story. One of our partners in, I think he's in Dallas. Yeah. He went out to a subdivision, spoke to the builder's representative in a model home, and he was in a market where it was about $2,500 a month to rent a 3-bed, 2-bath home on a slab. And I think it had a 2-car garage. So he talks to the builder's rep and said, what do my buyers need to have to qualify for this home where their full all-in payment, PITI, is $2,500 a month? And the answer he got was a 680 credit score and $5,000 down. This was his ad. He goes out in front of the home. He said, hey, this is Tim Hollenden with the Agents of Freedom. I'm out here in North Dallas around the Frisco area. I got to ask you, why in the heck are you throwing away $2,500 a month in rent when you can have this new construction home behind me? It's got 4 beds, 3.5 baths, a 2-car garage on a slab. You can own this home for $2,500 a month. Why are you wasting your money? Let me show it to you real quick. He does a real quick 60-second video tour through it, comes back in the house, says, if you like what you saw, if you want more information, click below and book a time on my calendar to discuss the next steps. That's his ad. Ladies and gentlemen, he put 22 new construction properties under contract in 30 days. Now, I don't know that all of them closed, but 22 contracts in 30 days off that one ad. That's new construction. That works because of builder incentives. If you don't have new construction in your market, we'll go to the Waterfront or one of the other funnels. We got about 14 funnels, by the way. I'm only showing you 3 of them plus the bonus Spanish funnel, which leads me to my next slide. That is the Spanish funnel. Low cost, $2.17 is this Spanish funnel. So run that ad in Espanol and in Inglés, and you'll have a much lower ad cost if you are bilingual or have somebody on your team, or maybe you just run that ad and refer all that business to a Spanish-speaking agent in your office. I don't know. So who thinks they could be doing a better job leveraging video and social media to grow their business? Who thinks you might be able to double it or triple it? You've got a firm value proposition. You got to establish that first. Remember, your ideal client, put an irresistible offer in front of them to get listings, to get buyers, whatever your particular client happens to be. And then the funnels will generate an unlimited number of inbound leads from proven campaigns. This is not pie in the sky. This is not somebody else in your pocket trying to sell you something, which I'm not trying to do today. Keep your wallet in your pocket. I'm not selling anything. And then leverage live video and social media to turn strangers into clients, all while relying on systems and process to scale your business by you doing less. Remember, you're only going to focus on the 46, not the 100. Let the system do most of that work too. And really, these things will convert at 1% if you just respond to what their responses are. When they answer a question, respond to it. I had an agent this morning I was talking to. He said, well, do I have to call them constantly? It's like, no, you don't have to. I mean, they're converting it around 1% by just letting the system text and email and give value. But yes, you do have to respond to them when they answer your question or ask you a question. But that's not a whole lot of work to do. And you should be doing that anyway. So let me ask you a question. If my team was willing to help you create a plan to build and launch a funnel, would you want our help? Now, for those of you that said yes, there's good news and bad news. So let's start with the bad news. And the bad news is this. Your phone is going to ring. And it's going to ring because as soon as somebody hits your funnel, the funnel calls you, says you got a new lead, and you can choose whether to hit any button on your phone and then call that lead right back. I mean, you literally can be on those leads in seconds. You've always heard, you got 5 minutes to do follow-up, and most of us don't even follow up within the same day in many cases, which is why 50% of the internet leads go untouched. But let me ask you, do you mind your phone ringing if it's qualified buyers and sellers looking for an agent? And for those of you that want to start generating business consistently instead of being rich, poor, here's the good news. Whether you're a new agent, whether you want to build a team, or you want to expand into other markets, we can help you do this. In fact, what if I told you our team could just build you out a funnel? Literally write all the ad copy, set up the campaign, build out all the follow-up, absolutely everything you need to turn on leads in your business, like turning up that water faucet. And imagine if every lead was put into a proven contacting campaign. These funnels we've worked on for years. We know what works and what doesn't. These are proven campaigns. Then your prospects start calling, texting, and emailing you every day. You want more listings? You saw we have a funnel for that. Do you want to build a team? I would first ask you, do you know how many leads you need in order to feed that team? That's what a team member wants. That's what my team members want. They want leads. And if you don't know how many leads it's going to take to feed each one of them, then you've got a broken model to start with. So just imagine having access to everything you need. We've got you. You want to take over a farm? That's a lot of fun. What we do there is we build out a hyper-targeted custom audience. We upload that custom audience to Facebook and Instagram, and we put ads only in front of that audience for that farm area. You want to attract luxury buyers and sellers? We have a funnel for luxury. Let us help you. Imagine no more guesswork. You can instantly have access to every system, every tool, every process I've ever created for my business. My partners have created in their business, over 60 some years of knowledge going into this, helping you. And if that's not enough, I told you I'm not asking for any money. What happens when we do all of this for you and we don't even charge you a dime? Your result is instant growth. You would never, ever again have priority confusion. You would know exactly what to do today, tomorrow, the next day. You'd have a little bit of time back in your life and a little more certainty and projectability in your future sales. You'd be fully trained with our roadmap and a team of rock stars to help you. And I'm not just talking about me and Aileen and Andy. We have an entire tech team and an entire marketing team behind here going through all the grunt work, making sure the tech works, making sure the ads run. And if we find something that's running better in most areas of the country, we communicate that back out to our partners. We help them do some ad tweaking, and you start getting the benefits of that. So constantly adding value. We've got support hours every single day to help you when you need it. We've got one per quarter physical face-to-face meeting where we do workshops at different parts of the country. You have access to all that. You would instantly be in business for yourself, but never by yourself. Interested? Wondering how this would work? I'm so glad you asked. You see, we partner with just 2 or 3 agents every month to help them execute all the tech stuff that typically holds us agents back. We're going to identify what's working in your business and what's not working, what things you need to do more of, and maybe some things you should stop doing. And you see, the formula is really simple. We're going to define where you want to be in 36 months and then reverse engineer a plan that's going to help get you there beginning in the first 90 days. Now, obviously, partnering is a hands-on process. So the first step is for us to get together and create a free strategy plan off of a strategy call. And then if you like what you see there, how all that works, and again, we're not making a dime on this, just helping and coach you. We can then decide if a partnership makes sense or not. And if you meet our criteria, here's what we're going to do. We're going to schedule that strategy call where we'll review your current business and create your personal model. We'll create a lead gen model and marketing plan and help you do the math, and then reverse engineer your goals to help you see a clear path for you to hit them. And then we'll review our options to partner, grow a team, or expand your business, whatever it is your goals are. So who is this for? This is for agents that understand the value of systems and can follow processes, that care about the client and the level of service you provide, that are committed to learning and growing and want a higher standard of training. Agents that leverage the power of marketing, lead gen, and building personal brand. And obviously, we only want people that are humble, hungry, and smart, and not so busy that you couldn't afford to spend a few days with us face-to-face, typically over a Zoom like we are today, learning all the processes and systems. And again, let me get one thing very, very clear. We are not selling a coaching program. We're not selling a lead gen program. We'd just be delighted to coach you and build one for you. What we're offering to do is partner with like-minded agents and not charge them a dime and help them grow their business. We're not even taking a percentage of your commission for those of you that might have been thinking that. Should have said that earlier. We just want to help you grow your business. And if you'd like to know more about that and get the free strategy call with plan, we're going to interview you, spend 45 minutes to an hour on the phone with you, learning all about you and your business and your goals. And we're going to help you see the math that it would take for you to accomplish your goals. And we're going to do all that at no cost or obligation. No pressure to do anything. Here's what I'd like you to do next. Either grab your phone and use that QR code and schedule a call with us, or go to aofcall.com and schedule that strategy call. I'm going to leave that on the screen as I go through the next few strings, and I want to play a couple of quick testimonials for you. There's only 2, I think. So listen to these. The first one is my buddy Brooks. Brooks is in Arlington, and he is running 3 of our funnels. He's averaging setting 2 appointments a day with buyers and sellers, and he's put 8 under contract in the first 2 months. How would you like 8 more deals before fall? I would. This is math, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to what he has to say.
Created about 3 or 4 funnels. We're working on the new construction funnel. I already pulled up Fox News to figure out what I could do to identify the person there to get on TV, so that we can start running on that. We've got, Jake, how many leads did you set appointments with today? 2. He did 2 yesterday. And Jake's been doing this for about a year as an ISA. And we've got at least, I think, 8 to 10 under contract. Been running it for about 2 months. I can pull up. Yeah, the call's coming back through. We'll just let it continue to ring.
Hey, Brooks gets interrupted there, but can you see he's thinking bigger? He's hired an ISA to also call all the leads. And again, you don't have to do that. You're going to have a better conversion if you do. Plan on 1% if you don't, and something a little higher, 1.5%, 2.5%, 3% if you do. But he's already talking about calling the news media, seeing about running ads on the television. That's how you scale, ladies and gentlemen. Not saying you have to do that. But the best marketer wins, not the best real estate agent. You may be a better real estate agent than what the highest producing real estate agent is in your market, but he or she knows how to market. And that's what these funnels are going to teach you to do. One more quick testimonial, and I want you to pay close attention to the expression and the disbelief on her face when she talks about how low her ad cost is. This is Melissa in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, one of our partners. In 2 weeks, she got 212 leads. She was out showing 5 different buyers' houses, had 2 under contract at $10 a day.
So first of all, when did you start with this?
Like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
How many leads have you generated in 2 weeks?
Gosh, I think it's 200 something that's in there now.
And
I can tell you right now. Hold on, because I just downloaded the app. I think it's 200 something.
And
yeah.
And so how many transactions do you have working right now?
So 212. And we have 5 on the streets, and we have 2 under contract from
All right. That's awesome. Mm-hmm. And so about how much would you say that you spent in lead generation? What's your budget?
I'm just doing $10 a day.
That's
I'm doing $10 a day.
I love that story. And we have lots of stories like that. And by the way, these are average agents. These are not just the rock stars. We ask everybody to do a testimonial when they start their funnels up. And, they're 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks in. I signed somebody up to do the funnels 2 weeks ago in Pensacola, Florida. She put a buyer under contract and has 2 seller listing appointments in her first 7 days. And that represents a possible $3 million worth of business. The $1 million was the buyer, and then there's $2 million condo opportunities to list for this lady. So this stuff works, ladies and gentlemen. After you schedule that strategy call, you're going to get an email that looks something like this. We're going to ask you some questions about your business. Nothing crazy, just 4 or 5 questions. We want to get to know you a little bit before the call so we can be better prepared to serve you when we do get together. And then the next email you're going to get, or excuse me, not email, the next step in that process of scheduling that strategy call is booking the call on our calendar, a date and time that's convenient for us. Then you get an email that's got 2 very important links on it. The first one is your link to the strategy call meeting. That's going to be a Zoom meeting instead of a Zoom webinar, so a different link than what you came into the Zoom today. And then very, very important, that why partner with us video. That's the second link there. Please, please, please make sure you watch that. That's going to go into a lot more detail than I had time for today. And it's going to give you a lot more information about the program. It's going to show you exactly how we're able to do this for free. And we're really not going to take a penny of your money. I promise you that. And that's the email that contains the video. I pre-recorded that. So that's going to be an on-demand video you can watch. And please watch that before the call. And as promised, here is Genny. Genny is your custom real estate chat GPT assistant that is really going to help you do a lot of things. And if you like anything AI, reach out to me. I've probably got 11 or 12 training videos I could share with you that'll change your life. So that is it for today. ladies and gentlemen, I am so very blessed. I thank you for your time. I know we're all super busy. We're all trying to be out there killing it in a market that's a little more difficult. I feel for you. I want to help you get back your market share. You know, the commission pool was larger last year than it was in 2019. You saw the data early in the presentation. So let's get the market share back that you deserve by creating some systems and some processes, some structure in your business, and let's do it with sales funnels. Again, my name is Tim Holland, and thank you so very much for your time. We're Agents of Freedom, where we help you obtain financial freedom, time freedom, and location freedom. I look forward to seeing you on the call. Thank you again so much for your time. Have a great day and a blessed rest of your week. Thank you. Oh, 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 hey. Out here on the grind, chasing dreams in the sun, from the Gulf to the hills, yeah, we're getting